Hey my beauties, it's another beautiful day and welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new here, I am Beautiful Ty, and here I'm just all about light and love, spiritual positivity, and we get into those real raw talks, honey. And you are in tune. Of course, you can see the video title today. We're gonna go ahead and get right in on that thing. Again, if you are here just looking for some encouragement, some motivation, some spiritual guidance, and just to be along with me on this journey, then you are in the right place. Stay tuned because I have something very special for you guys in the end.
Twino got the recipe.
Welcome back, beauties. Again, thank you for tuning in, and we're gonna hop right on in it. Like I said, you guys see the title, and we're talking about fear today. This has been something in one of my past videos I've spoken on, and I just felt the need to come back today. I have some new ideas on it that I picked up, and I just want to share with you, beauty. So go ahead and smile for me one time, like cheese one time. I don't know like why I'm in this smiling energy when talking about a topic such as fear. Because fear, you know, it has this connotation like it's meant to be feared. Blatantly put, but you know, like something scary or something eerie, or you know, like that hair sticking up on the back of your neck almost. Fear. It has such a negative connotation, and it's time to myth bust that thing basically, and we're gonna get into it. I want to break it down, but ultimately fear is something that I've dealt with growing up as a child, and I feel like it is critical to tell you guys that God didn't give us the spirit of fear. God did not give us the spirit of fear. So if we know that we are in this spiritual world, and we know that we are spiritual beings, essentially, where does this spirit come from? When you put it like that, okay, if God didn't give me this, then it's definitely something the enemy gave me. And like you guys probably have heard, they always say, you know, when you have such a calling over your life, or you're chosen, or you're the divine empress or masculine, hey, not judging, but most of my audience is women, and like you, this is who the enemy or the devil tends to go after the most. You know what I'm saying? So they always say that the enemy attaches things to you even from the moment of birth, or he tries to introduce you to things or attack you from when you're a child. And essentially it's because you still have that innocence. And if he can attack that innocence on you, he can then lead your teen life, your adult life, your middle-aged life, and your elder life to ruins, all for his name's sake. Now we all have to remember that, okay, we hate to admit that, but the devil is kind of smart. You know, he once was an angel. He is a fallen angel. He was kicked out of heaven for basically being, what would you say, greedy or jealous of God himself. And we already know that God is a jealous God, and he will not have anyone, not even his own angels before him, because he reigns and he is the creator. He is the great I am, as he should sit on the throne by himself, period. Anyways, so yeah, so that's a little backstory on the devil and how he likes to attack the innocent, which is basically the naive and the gullible and the pure at hearted. And that typically is from when you are younger aged, or from, like I said, from even birth. And my personal testimony to that is the devil essentially locked on to me, I would say, since I came out. He put the spirit of fear over me. I don't know how it was done or what's the backstory, because I'm still talking with my parents and I'm still learning day by day about myself, about them. You know how that is. And just remembering in my childhood, I was like so afraid of a lot of things. Like, I was afraid of most of the rides at amusement parks. I was afraid to ever leave my mother's side. Like, I would always squeeze her hand to death, or like being in front of people or speaking in front of people. And that wasn't really my character, because once I was comfortable or just with those, you know, with my parents or in my home, my true self and my true personality would just shine and thrive. And I'm naturally an adventurous person, because I would want to do those things, but there will always be this something like, you shouldn't do that, or this may happen, this can happen, and and that's how the enemy works. You know, he uses people, and he definitely have a team of, and not to scare you guys or anything, because I don't condone anything dark or do or talk about anything dark on this channel, but he does have demonic beings, what you all may call demons or low vibrational beings. And how they do that, they communicate to you. You know, we always hear that some thoughts are not your own. That is in fact true. You know, and we just have to keep living on this journey and keep asking those pressing questions to God to further understand how he's able to do that. Because another thing that I've learned along this way is the devil is not necessarily him or her. You know, the devil is his own entity. And with that being said, a lot of people, and this is going to be for a completely different video one day, but a lot of people tend to look at other people who display those low vibes and, you know, pinpoint characteristics. But what you're really doing is pinpointing characteristics from that person. Your enemy is not those people. They are just the vessels that the enemy is using against you. So the best strategy for you in that scenario is to not try to study a person and their characteristics, or the scenarios, the situations of how they used you, played you, hurt you, etc. But instead, to go to God, to turn to the word, and to study everything he says about the devil. Because if you know how the devil is and what he looks like from his natural standpoint is how God tells you he is, it doesn't matter if he jumped to Sam, Lucy, and Tom. You'll be able to know him, distinguish him, and be able to basically beat him at his own game. But back to what we are originally talking about. Yeah, I got off on a tangent, but that was just to give you guys some insight, some clarity, and some backstory about this thing we call fear. And again, like I said, the devil is smart. He already knows how this story is going to end. We already know that in the book of Revelation, Jesus is going to ultimately beat him without a doubt. But his plan here, keep in mind, he already knows how the story is going to end. So if he's already knowing that I'm going to be defeated, he wants to take down everybody with him. It's no logical explanation, or maybe it is. Like I said, get into your prayer life with God and ask those pressing questions. But for the sake of this video, for whatever reason it is, he wants to take as many people down to Hades or hell, whatever you want to call it, with him as possible. And one of his tactics is using fear. But fear to me is like an attack on temptation. We learned in the Bible that is one way the enemy attacks us, through temptations, through things we like, dislike, and put those things in our path and in our way to try to basically change our mindset and change who we ultimately are, and to get us to behave and to sin against God, which is what we're trying so hard not to do. We're not perfect, and that's why we have to repent with pure hearts and intentions to the Lord above. But fear, if I break that thing down, fear, F-E-A-R, then we basically got the acronym false evidence appearing real. Fear is not real. Every time when I was younger, going into those crowds or going to the amusement park, I was never in danger for my life. I was young. I was probably yay high, and the rides were probably maybe 10 probably is a stretch, 10 miles an hour of how fast those little, baby roller coasters would go. So I was never in real danger. I was never in harm's way. But he put that fear in me, in thoughts inside of my head to believe. And this is just an example. I know this on a small scale, but apply it to your life and your situation. He will put these thoughts in me of what could happen. What, I could have fun. He doesn't want you to think like that. No, you can fall, kill yourself, break your neck, and you're dead. He put fear around death itself as well, So it's false evidence appearing real, and that's basically an illusion. If you look at the definition of illusion, which I would include here, read up, then you would see what an illusion is. It's something that's not real, but it appears to be that way. And that is what fear is. And I'm all about the parables, just like, how Jesus always connected some type of parable to their time so that people could understand and get it, how it resonated with them. Case in point. So, horror movies. This is where they display fear the most. But even though I love a good cringe, because I am born in October, October's very own, I love a good spooky wookie, okay? And if you have seen the movie Freddy vs. Jason, or if you've seen the clown movie It, and probably every freaking other horror movie that exists, they come down to one, what's the word I'm looking for? It always comes down to one perspective, or just to sum it up, basis of why any of this movie even exists or this story even exists. There's a host, which is the person it's happening to, and then it's always the attacker, and I use Freddy versus Jason because that's when he blatantly says it, and I use It because he blatantly says it, especially on the remake on parts, I think 1 and 2, he blatantly comes out and says this as well. But in Freddy versus Jason, for inference, in that movie, we all know the story of Freddy. He comes back, and his name has gotten a little older. The kids have grown up and got older. It's a different generation now, and they're not really afraid of him. They're not really thinking of him. You know what I'm saying? So he is powerless. It's getting good. So he is powerless. He notices that, how can I get my power back? I need them to fear me. And he basically uses Jason as a pawn to get these kids back scared of something so he can initially get his power back. And that's how he works. And even with Freddy himself, out in his, trilogy, or not Friday the 13th, but in his Freddy's, his whole attack is an illusion. Freddy comes into your dreams. He displays anything that you are already afraid of. And he presents itself and uses it, magnifies it to scare you even more intensely, just so he can get stronger and then proceed to kill you. And what does the enemy wants to do? Kill, steal, and destroy. And if we look into the It movie, the clown movie, Pennywise comes back, and he essentially tells the children, well, they figure out, hey, if I'm not afraid of him, or if I don't believe in him, just like Freddy, he doesn't have power. He can't do anything. So his whole tactic as well is to try to instill fear, which is again an illusion. And when I started to look at that and like, wow, so the more that I fear the thing, the more I give it power, I began to break free from a lot of stuff in my life. And it's just like, okay, I don't want to give, you know, the enemy anymore my power. I don't want to have my life be like this forever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I'm going through, even though nothing in life is permanent, change is inevitable. But I don't want to be fearful all of my life. I don't want to be afraid to stand in front of a crowd and give a speech. I don't want to be afraid to be myself physically and dress and wear and do everything that I've always wanted to do with my body. I don't want to be fearful of what my parents might say. I want to be fearful of what my friends may say, because peer pressure is a thing and it exists. But it's an illusion, baby girl. It's an illusion. And that's why I'm here to tell you some tips and strategies. If I'm counting, I guess that would be number one. You got to identify that it's an illusion. Whatever you're telling yourself is not true. Oh, I can't ever do blank blank because of A, B, and C. That sounds like fear. I can't move to that city because of A, B, and C might happen. What if I can't go to that school? I can't hang with that crowd because what if, and you get so caught into that now you're not even in control of your own life. And you're wondering why you have these mental issues, which is nothing but spirits again. And that's for a whole different video. But depression, suicidal thoughts, anxieties. Yes, these are physical traits or things that happen when you're going through something, but ultimately God didn't give us those things, so it has to come from somewhere. And once you realize that and establish that, you can then pinpoint, okay, this is just my body's natural reaction to something else. I don't have anxiety. It's actually this. I'm around these energies that are bothering me, or I keep having these thoughts. Where are these thoughts coming from? They're not your own. What am I doing? You know, when these thoughts or anything, you know, it's so deeper. And that's where, you know, people talk about shadow work and where that comes into play. Because it's a reason you're depressed. And it's not because you're working 2 jobs and going to school. Because an old part of you wanted that. An old part of you wanted to get that degree and finish school. An old part of you wanted to, or enough income where it fell to you having to pick up 2 jobs, you know. A part of you wanted those things that now you're saying you're depressed for. You know what I'm saying? Or for the things that you lack. Why do you feel you lack it? You know, you have to start asking those why questions with yourself and making yourself more accountable to your own life. And that's how you gain back your power. It's no longer pointing fingers. It's everything is because of me. I'm feeding into this and it. And not to disclaim anybody's mental health or, you know, how they're feeling and what they're doing, because I've been low. But once I started to pick myself up, I realized how those things were just anchors and fears that I was holding on to myself, and I could have easily shaken out of them. And so that's just why I'm coming here to try to bring you guys these examples. And I really feel like if you just hear it plain and simple and smack in the face, that maybe this video may be your wake-up call. Or it may trigger you to start asking questions, or it may trigger you to start really doing that shadow work that you claim you've been doing, but you've been putting off and you need to do it. So yeah, it's just like, fear is an illusion. Whatever you are fearing, you are giving it power. You are no longer having accountability over your life. And don't let this video be any reason to do something negative. Like I said, we only move in positivity, light, and love. So it's something to propel you forward. Whatever you make after you take that accountability, you have to own up to those consequences as well, whether they're good and whether they're bad. But hopefully this breaks the chain off some of you all mentally and just pump start and get started what God has already told you to be doing. break away from that illusion, whatever you've told yourself up until this point. Matter of fact, you got homework. Find one thing that you can obviously say you're fearful to do, or God has called you to do, or even, hey, let's go over to our mental health status. What is that one thing? You know, you don't have to necessarily comment it. If you want to, you want to. But that's that personal homework that you do between you and God. But I just wanted to come and talk to you guys, girls, about that, because it's a real problem with fake illusions. As simple as that sounds, the devil has a lot of us in a chokehold with it. And I'm talking to my divine ones. You're already awakening. God, if he sent you to me, you're already awakening. You're already on the right track. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. And I told you, if you stay to the end of this video, I had something great and good for you. I've already blessed my space. And like I said on here, I am not a tarot reader. I don't have any negative feelings towards tarot. It's just something I don't do. But I am an oracle reader. I am a psychic intuitive as well. I may say some things basically that I hear or that I see from God, and I initially just share that with you all, whether it's a message for myself or it's a message for whoever clicks this video, whether it be a million, whether it be one person, you feel me? But let's get into some healing. Last video we did a self-care oracle card deck, and this video we're going to do some Aboriginal healing cards. And I love this deck. It's by Mel Brown, and it basically uses animals in their cards, but it has definitely great messages. And I'm just gonna give it a little good shuffle going on here, and you see they're so beautiful. But it's just some natural healing. I want to give you some healing. And Spirit, what do they need to know right now who's watching this video? What healing message do you have for them right now? And like I said, I just feel the need to reiterate that I am not a tarot reader. I don't feel any negativity towards tarot readers. I actually like that. But it's just not something I do. Not because I don't want to. It's just that, you know, I'm not as researched or just on that path right now, you know. Who knows what the future may hold. And until, like I always say, we are on a journey. Life is a journey. And I've kept my old videos up. I'm a talkaholic. I just be talking through this whole process. So I'm getting a good shuffle going on. If you're wondering what I'm doing, just getting a good shuffle going on. And I just want to leave you with one good message here. One good message. That was too many. So Spirit, if you can give us a good message. If you can give us a good message. What does my people, what does my beauties need to know? What can they start in their healing journey? As well as myself. Let's see. It's like a lot of healing we need to do, you guys, but I feel like we have been doing a lot of healing. I'm also picking that up too, that we are on the right track and we have been doing a lot of healing. Spirit, my lovely angels, what do they need to hear right now? What do they need to hear right now? What do they need to hear right now? What do they need to hear? That's beautiful. Alakura, selflessness. So this is the card Spirit has given me. Thank you. selflessness. Again, these are all new decks, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and just read from the book on this one. It says selflessness, sacrificing future. It's one of the future cards. So going forward, trusting in the future. Self-sacrificing is an act where you selflessly give or act in a particular way towards another. The ancestors warn us that being a martyr is not self-sacrificing, as often the choices that are made do not impact others, only yourself. Give to others only after you have cared for yourself. The act of giving can only be worthwhile if we provide it from a place within us that has something to offer. Once we determine what we actually have to share, our gift becomes more valuable to the person that we are sharing ourselves with. So definitely, this is your gift to go on for the rest of your day, is to practice selflessness. But in order to practice selflessness and give to others, your cup has to already be full. Remove the things that you don't need from your life. Remove everything that's holding you back at this moment. That's a practice of self-love. That's giving to yourself, pouring into your own cup, making sure that you're healed and happy. So that's the next step on your journey, practicing selflessness and giving after your cup has been filled, removing what does not need to be there and receiving and accepting everything that does. And once that takes place, you'll be able to share and give back pieces of yourself, because you've already given those pieces to you first. So I hope you've appreciated this message and you've taken at least one gem from this message. Then my job here is done. Please feel free to connect with me. My Instagram is Beautiful Taisha. TikTok, I'm on there a lot. Beautiful Taisha 22. Or, of course, here. Drop down in the comments. Leave me some good positivity, light, and love. Because that's all we do over here on this channel. And again, it's another beautiful day. Thank you for staying tuned. And I just want to send you out with a nice loving prayer. Father God, thank you for allowing these beauties to stay up until this point. Father God, they are divinely protected. And I pray that you bless them with light and love. Until next time, amen.